I wonder how I could get clients with cold outreach. Quick question, if I could get you 30 booked appointments, would you give me all your fucking money? 50? 100? 1,000? 11 billion, that's your number. Please buy my shit. Please buy my shit. Buy my shit or I'll fucking kill you. You have exactly 30 seconds to buy my shit or then I will stab you right in the chest. What's up guys, it's Frankie. In this video I want to show you guys no more outreach. In fact, it is literally every single day of my life I hear somebody message me and they say something like, hey, I need to cold DM people one-to-one and send hundreds or even thousands of messages, but I just don't really want to fucking do that. And I'm here to show you guys 6 alternatives to actually having to cold DM for those of you guys who just aren't built to be chasing motherfuckers to their inbox or feel spammy doing it, or just like me, have kids and don't have time to be messaging people and jumping on calls with everybody. I want to show you guys other strategies that you can use that over the 20 years have been proven time and time again to work, and you don't have to do the shit that everybody does. So for those of you guys who are sick of listening to all those gurus that tell you you have to be cold DMing motherfuckers, I'm here to tell you that they're wrong. For those of you guys who don't know me already, my name's Frankie Finn. I wrote these 2 best-selling books, which you can find links to below: Passive Automated Recurring Income, Beyond the Agency Box. Built 3 of my own agencies, count them, to 100 plus clients, and also have helped thousands of people worldwide to live this more beach, less laptop lifestyle. Let's get into it. By the way, yes, that is a penis drawing. We're here to spice things up. So I want to show you guys in this, like some of the strategies that you can do in addition to all the cold outreach that everybody says you have to do. And I find that a lot of times when you do cold outreach the way most people do, it just comes across as spammy and you end up having to do like mountains and mountains of volume and the whole thing is a grind. And on the inside, I don't know about you, but it just left me feeling like this.
So you get fired again, huh?
Oh, yeah. They always freak out when you leave the scene of an accident, you know?
Yeah, well, I lost my job, too.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
No, none taken.
No offense or anything. So the first, by the way, alternative to messaging motherfuckers is you guys are looking at it. Put out content on this new thing called the internet. You can do it on the Instagrams, on the TikTok, on the Facebook. You can do it on YouTube as you're seeing right here. You can do it on LinkedIn. Go where your audience goes and add those people as friends and publish content that will naturally go in front of them. And what you'll find is instead of having to chase people, if you do it long enough, people will come to you. Now, I'll tell you, one of the most disheartening things about content for most people and why they don't is because for the first 30, 60, 90 days, nothing happens. Nobody reaches out to buy you. And so I see all the time where people put out 10 videos, 20 videos, whatever. And I'm here to tell you that it works, but it works in a way most people don't think about. So I actually made a YouTube channel in the lawyer space, published like 30 videos, did them all at once, hoping to get some business, and then nothing happened. So I stopped making videos. Well, that channel's about 11, 12 years old, and I still get phone calls from that thing. And if I had known that those videos were going to continue getting eyeballs for like 10, 11, 12 years, I would have made a whole lot more videos. So I don't want you guys to fall into that trap. Let's talk about the second thing. A lot of you guys are selling clients ads. How are you going to tell clients that ads work if you don't run your own ads? Especially like I know for some of you guys, if you're running things like Google ads, they can be really expensive, but like YouTube and Facebook ads are still super affordable, right? So like to me, one of the beautiful things about ads is you can present yourself as anybody you want to be.
It's me, Tug.
It's me, Tug.
That's right. Now, Tug who?
Tug who? I don't know. Who are you?
Me? I know who I am. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
What?
You a dude that don't know what dude he is.
Or are you a dude who has no idea what dude he is and claims to know what dude he is?
So I'm here to tell you, if you're going to do just one thing, I would start with Facebook. Or if you're naturally good at video, do YouTube, because you're going to get the cheapest ads. And we actually have a video on this channel where we get our YouTube stuff. I get clicks and stuff like that for like 5 cents a piece, man. You got a $2,000 a month service or a $5,000 or a $10,000 a month service and you're getting 5-cent clicks. Like the math is going to work. You sell one person off of like 10,000 clicks, you're going to be doing all right. So let's talk about the third strategy. Networking. Okay? Networking, chances are if you already live in a big city, there's some meetups, there's some get-togethers, there are people who are like specifically getting together just to network. And by the way, even if there isn't an existing networking meeting, you can make one. In fact, one of my mentors, one of the things he used to do is he would find the people who had all the business that he wanted to get. He would invite them to an event at the bar and say, we're coming there to network. Didn't cost him a dime to do it. And he would invite 100, 200 people and they would all come. And everybody would come to him and he would get business out of it. Right? There's nothing that stops you from doing that exact same thing. And by the way, even if you're not like physically in a big city, whatever, Zoom, you can network with people over Zoom. Hey, get together 5-10 minutes, talk about like their thing. Let's network a little bit. You'd be amazed at how many people are open to this. This one right here is my favorite strategy of all of them. And it's what I have different names for it, but it's when we go after audience owners. I'm kind of writing sideways here, so don't like mock my chicken scratch. But instead of chasing people one-to-one, is you focus on finding the people in your industry who already have audiences, and you simply publish stuff that benefits them. If you can really wrap your head around, give away the information for free and charge for the implementation, it's the easiest thing in the world. So like if you do Facebook ads for, I don't know, dentists, go to the dental podcast and talk to them about how they can run their own Facebook ads and all the benefits of doing so. And when they actually need help implementing those ads, you're positioned as the only one who does it. It's one of the easiest things in the world to do because audience owners need you, and they've often spent 10, 20 years building a relationship. In fact, I find if I publish content on my own stuff, it works 1% as well if I publish the exact same thing in an audience owner's things. And the other thing is, these make for the best ads, so like you get to use them again and again. Telling you guys, if you go after the audience owners, like you're gonna be as cocky as Shooter.
You're gonna beat me? At golf? Oh, you're on. You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
No.
Don't be judging people who eat pieces of shit for breakfast. All right, so let's talk number 5 here. Referral partners. I'm just going to type this in as ref because that's my lazy short form. But referral partners. Find people who already know the people you want to do and turn them into partners. I'll tell you the easiest way to do this with doing a story is just help them with something they're trying to do and do that 2, 3, 4 times and they will feel like they owe you. So for example, one of the things I did, I had a 90-day challenge where the number one question I got asked over the last 5 years is, if you were me, you're starting over and you wanted to get to 10K a month as fast as possible, what would you do? So I decided to do it, and I decided I would just document the process, and whenever somebody asked, I would direct them to that video, or the document with all those different videos showing what I did. One of the things that I did is I found one of the top magazines in the space. They had a podcast, they had a YouTube channel, things like that, and I noticed a lot of their YouTube thumbnails, they were good content, but like the thumbnails weren't optimized at all. So you like really couldn't even tell what the video was about. So like only really industry insiders watched it. So I went on the old Canva and I made them thumbnails. I didn't know this person from anyone. It took me about 5 minutes, by the way, because Canva's super easy to use. It's also free. And I went there and I said, hey, I noticed like a lot of your thumbnails are kind of not on point. So I made you a couple. I made you a couple of templates so that you guys can incorporate these going forward. And here you go. Here's the template. Now, they didn't ask me to do that. They didn't hire me to do that. I didn't message them and see if it was okay. I didn't ask anyone for permission. You have to be very, very proactive. But what happened is I did 2, 3, 4 things like that. And they said, who are you and what can we do for you? And I said, well, if you know anybody who's looking for this, send them my way. And of course, what happens is the magic of reciprocity, they feel like they owe you and do it. So here's a story from Cialdini. I don't know if any of you guys have read his book, Influence. Highly recommend you do. But there's a story where they were trying to go to an art gallery and raise money. So they went to people at the art gallery and they said, would you like to donate? And what they found on average is something like 10% of people donated. And let's say on average, they donated $1. Well, they did a variation of the study where the person asking went to the person 30 minutes earlier and said, hey, I went to the vending machine and I got an extra Coca-Cola that came out of the machine and figured you'd look thirsty and gave them a free Coca-Cola. Oh, how nice. Then 30 minutes later, they go back to that person and say, would you like to donate to the art gallery? Well, what they found is now instead of 10% of people donating, 20% of people donated, and the amount they donated went from like $1 to $2. I don't remember the exact numbers, but twice as many people donated, and they donated twice as much money. So they got 4 times as much money with reciprocity. So how do you get in with referral partners? You find people who know everybody in your industry, somebody who supplies them, somebody who's connected with them, somebody who runs the conference, and you just do a couple things to help them out, and you say, hey, if you happen to know anybody, feel free to send them my way. Well, they already happen to know everybody. I want to show you guys one last alternative to the cold outreach that everybody's doing. You do this, by the way, this is an easy $1 million idea.
$1 million.
Okay, my evil laugh needs some work, admittedly. So instead of doing the one-to-one, and this takes a little bit of strategic thinking. By the way, Jay Abraham, in his strategy of preeminence, says that anybody who's a strategic thinking entrepreneur will crush anybody who is a very tactical entrepreneur. Tactic is when you're thinking of trying to do everything in a single leap and bound. Strategy is when you're thinking 2, 3, 4, 5 moves in advance. And so one of the things is we find if you cold message somebody and say, essentially, buy my shit, you're fighting an uphill battle. But if you cold message somebody and say, hey, you're somebody that I really look up to and admire and I love what you put together, can we do a little 10-minute interview sharing your wisdom with our audience? By the way, it doesn't matter if you have an audience of 0. I actually did this when I first got started in the attorney space. I reached out to the top attorney on earth, which is a law firm called Morgan & Morgan. Their top guy named John Morgan. I had a following of 0. I knew 0 lawyers. They didn't care. They still gave me the interview. So what happens is, though, when you do an interview, at the end of it, that person will then become curious about you. It's their natural thing. They'll say, who are you guys? What do you do? And so it'll actually sell your stuff because they want to all of a sudden know who you are, how you help people. And so instead of messaging people and saying, would you like to buy my shit? You say, hey, you're really cool. I love what you guys are doing. Do you think we could do a little quick interview? Just doing a little deep dive on this topic. And what you'll find in doing so is all of a sudden people who ghost you and ignore you, they actually get value out of you enhancing their reputation, you sharing their stuff on the internet, you helping them to create content. So what ends up happening is they get all excited and the jizz blast comes, and then ultimately on the back half of that, on step 2, on step 3 is when you actually sell your stuff. So I wanted to show you guys these 6 strategies that you can put out content, you can publish ads, you can do networking, you can publish stuff with other audiences, you can create referral partners, you can generate interviews and sell your stuff on the back half of that. Because every day somebody comes to me and is totally convinced that they have to be one-to-one messaging 10 billion strangers. And I'm here to tell you, no, you do not. In fact, it's a terrible idea to be one-to-one messaging strangers because it's literally the least efficient way to do that. It's also the spammiest. It also gives away your expertise. And also everyone else is doing it because it's free. So I would suggest pick one of these strategies that works for you, that works for your personality style, and double down on it. If it's content, whether that's written, podcasts, or videos, do that. If you're like an ad person and you like to use your money and spend that and bring people to do that. If you like face-to-face networking, talking with people, do that. If you like publishing stuff and working with the movers and shakers in your industry, do that. If you like just having people refer them to you on a silver platter, do that. And if you like talk and shop with people and connect to them and do interviews. But I wanted to share this with you guys because, man, you don't have to be cold DM and one-to-one and chasing motherfuckers in their inbox like everybody says you do. In fact, it's literally the least efficient way of doing it. I think it's so popular in our space because it's the easiest one to wrap your head around, and it does work. But man, like so many of these are actually way more efficient, and I'll tell you how we like to do it personally, how I like to do it inside of our Wolfpack Mastermind, is I first create content with audience owners. And what happens is this is very high status content, right? Like if I create something in the legal space with a guy who runs the top conference, well, that's going to be seen in a higher light than if I just go out there and say, hey, I'm Frankie Finn, buy my shit, right? And then what happens is we take that stuff that worked great with audience owners, and when it converts there, then we take it and we use that to boost ads. So sometimes we do this in podcasts, sometimes we do this as magazine articles, sometimes we do this as speaking on stage. Sometimes we do this as YouTube videos or expert interviews, and we take those and we boost those with ads and sort of force feed them to our audience. And then what happens is we go back to those audience owners, do 1, 2, 3 things for them and say, hey, if you know anybody, would you like to refer us? And what happens is, as Ricky from Trailer Park Boys would say, we're able to get 3 birds stoned at once because we send one message to an influential audience owner. We now have content, we now have ads, and we have a referral partner on step 2, step 3, and step 4, and it's far more efficient. In fact, I can send one message here, and often these messages are like 3-4 sentences long that a third grader could write, and I do more damage because they get my stuff in front of 10,000 people, right? Like if I message to the top dental podcast, say I'm trying to sell dentists, and I do one podcast episode, it'll take me about 60 minutes of recording that week to do it. Now all of a sudden I have ads that'll work. I have content that I can then create little mini pieces of content out. So I might get 10, 12 pieces of content from that one long form podcast. And now that podcast owner is a potential referral partner. All that took me was one message and maybe anywhere from 5 minutes to 60 minutes of recording. And I'm able to get my stuff in front of 10,000 people in front of a space instead of having to DM them one-to-one. So if you guys are interested in hearing more about this, let me know, because this, again, is how we like to do it inside of the Wolfpack Mastermind for agency owners is, work smarter, not harder. Work smarter. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Zig when they zag. Be more efficient. So if you guys, excuse me, would like another deep dive on this in the future, let me know. Otherwise, drop a comment below. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe if you're not already, just for the dad guns and cool jokes. And that's all I got for you guys in this video.
Hey guys, if you like this video, you may also like my best-selling book here, Beyond the Agency Box. It is all about scaling a digital marketing agency while eliminating meetings and phone calls. We actually sell our stuff phoneless. We don't have any client meetings, and we also hire our team entirely without meeting phone calls, which allows us to, actually kind of live a life. I've laid out the entire blueprint and everything you need to know, getting clients, onboarding, setting expectations, scaling, building a team, you name it. It has been a bestseller on Amazon now for over 5 straight years, but now you can get it even cheaper than you can get it on Amazon. So I can't tell you the exact price because it may change when this video is released, but there should be a link to it below, either in the description of the video or as well as a pinned comment. So if you're interested in that, check out that video and you can get a copy for super cheap.